Biden's proposed tax increases don't go nearly far enough, and that has profound consequences for the end structure of his family and infrastructure plan. Let's take a look. First, consider that Biden is only increasing the top marginal income tax rate from 37% to 39.6%. This is a very, very modest increase, especially when you step back and take a look at what the top marginal income tax rate has been throughout the 20th century. I mean, in the 1950s, it was over 90% for about a decade, and it was over 50% until the 1980s. Additionally, though he raises the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%, that's not even undoing the full Trump tax cut, which had cut it from 35% all the way down to 21%. And once again, these are historically low corporate tax rates. If you go back to the 1950s, the US corporate tax rate was over 50%, and it didn't fall all the way down to 35% until the early 1980s. Wait a second, that's two things where things got cut in the early Oh, Reagan. Yeah, Reagan. And this is a problem because we all know that income inequality and corporate power are some of the biggest issues facing the United States of America today. And these rates are far below historical rates. In the 1950s, as I mentioned, marginal tax rates were in the 90s, corporate tax rates were in the 50s. Biden plan doesn't even come close to those rates. So if we're not returning to historical rates when income inequality was much more under control, how can we expect things to begin to get under control today? Despite those extreme shortcomings within Biden's tax plan, there are a few bright spots that are worth calling out just to give credit where credit is due. First of all, he is cracking down on multinational corporations in a way that is very exciting by instituting a global minimum tax rate. So what this says is if you are a multinational corporation that is hiding your money in tax havens abroad, the United States will tax you on that income you have booked to a tax haven abroad at a rate of 21%. Now, 21% is not super high, but this is technically income that is being taxed at a rate of 0% by the United States right now. So this is at least an improvement on that. So mechanically, what that looks like is like, let's say a company was booking taxes to a jurisdiction that had a 1% corporate tax rate, right? And our global minimum tax rate is 21%. That means that the US is going to tax you an additional 20% on top of that to secure those earnings. And additionally, the US isn't just pursuing this unilaterally. The Biden administration is trying to encourage other nations to sign on to this global minimum tax rate to put an end to the race to the bottom that is encouraged by multinational corporations. There are some other bright spots within the bill, such as the elimination of the difference between the short and long-term capital gains tax rates, which results in a significant tax increase on long-term capital gains, going from a top bracket of 20% to 43.6%. Despite these bright spots, the issue of taxes in Biden's bill isn't an idle issue. First, we know that the bill has to be paid for because Joe Manchin will only vote for a paid bill, and he is the final vote that is necessary to pass anything. So we know that the taxes have to cover the price of the bill. Therefore, the size of the bill is also limited by the tax base generated by the bill itself. Therefore, if we had a larger tax base generated by the bill, we could afford a bigger bill. Now you might say, do we need a bigger bill? It's already $4 trillion, my goodness. Well, unfortunately, things like U.S. infrastructure are in such bad shape that even $4 trillion isn't enough. Consider that the U.S. Civil Society of Engineers estimates that we need $4.5 trillion in repairs to fix up our roads and bridges in the United States of America, and that less than half of that $4 trillion is going towards infrastructure, and you can see that there is a wide gap here between what the U.S. needs and what it's getting. Therefore, ideally, we could get more, and to get more, we would need higher taxes. So, Biden's plan clearly has some definite bright spots and some areas where it would pay to push him from the left. If you're interested in pushing him from the left, I've included websites below that can link you to your House of Representatives member or your Senate member. Consider giving them a call, pressuring them to put pressure on Biden to have a more ambitious plan with higher tax rates in it. Obviously, this is all a long shot, but one of the best antidotes to feeling depressed about politics is to actually get active and take constructive action in it. So please consider calling your representatives or otherwise taking action to fight for what you believe in. In any case, if you made it this far, thank you for watching my YouTube video. You know the shill drill. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that shenanigans. If you like this, we have a Twitch stream where we get into a lot more detail. Please consider checking it out. Link down in the description. In any case, see you in my next video, and peace.